Welcome back. So today we are going to make a poop roll and a leash so we can use it for kind of measurements. So let's go ahead and open up Blender if you haven't today and do a new file general. And we don't need Suzanne, so we'll just delete Suzanne. Click on the flexible design. And now we're going to create our poop loop roll baggy spindle. And if we look at it, it's mainly a cylinder. And remember we took our notes. So let's bring up our notes and I just put them on a sticky here. So our roll is 60 millimeters high and the width is 30. And we're actually going to put in the radius, which is half of that. So it'll be 15, but I'll show you some tricks. So let's go ahead and jump into Blender. Make sure you have your flexible design, Shift A, and let's add a cylinder. This is going to be, and we're done. Just kidding. We have, vertices 32. That's fine. Keep it small and light. The radius we know is, we want it to be 30 wide. So we'll do 30 divided by 2. Boom. And that'll give us our radius just like that. And the depth we said 60. So there we go. Now we've got our roll right there, just like that. Let's rename it though. So we'll call this roll. So now we've got a roll to scale. That is exactly how it is. And we're just going to use this to create our design around so that we always know and are aware of our actual real world scale. So here we go. And so now we've got that one. That one's good. We can just turn it off for a second with that little eyeball. So next we have the leash, which is the width 26 and the thickness 3. So let's go into Blender and make a leash. So we'll just click on flexible design, Shift A, make a cube because it's kind of like a leash shape. And we said the size was 26 millimeters. So that's the width there. And that's fine. And now let's go to our dimensions here and we can just type it in here. So the X width is 26. That's good. The Y we can do 3. And for the height of this leash, let's just make it pretty large. So maybe like 150. That's about 6 inches-ish. So there's our leash like that. And now we can use that as reference if we need to later down the road. So let's go ahead and rename this. Instead of cube, let's call it leash. You guessed it. And now we've got our objects. So let's bring them both back. There we go. And the leash is going to be probably near the back. So, if we're looking at the front here, you can just click on your leash, hit G and Y, and just drop it back a little bit. We're going to use it somewhere back here. So this is our beginning shapes. And before we leave, let's go ahead and save it as, I should have done this at the front, but we just want to save. And notice that I have a bunch of different dog head poop dispensers drafts. So this is what your projects may look like from time to time. It took me 9 different drafts to get to the finished product, but I always had these just in case I ever wanted to go back, and wouldn't be scared to try different things. So let's just go ahead and start this one here. We'll call it dog head poop dispenser. It's fine. DHPD, and then call it D1. Or anything you want to call it, but just draft 1 is fine. That way we can kind of version them as we create this. So there we go. We got our objects. So now we've got our 2 objects here, but let's go ahead and group these into a collection. So just shift click on these and then hit M on the keyboard and we'll create a new collection. So just click new collection and we'll just call it objects. And looky here. So now we've got our objects and we can even bring those inside of our flexible design. So for later. And there we go. So now let's go ahead and jump into the next lesson where we're going to take our doggy photos and create our base meshes kind of in reference to these objects. Let's go ahead and dive on in it.